Hey, what's good everybody? It's Lance again. I'm here to give you guys another movie review. Today I'm going to review the newest Alexander Payne film, Downsizing.
And you may say to yourself, my God, what have I done?
The small world is filled with things to see.
Downsizing stars Matt Damon, Chau, Jason Sudeikis, Kristen Wiig, and forgive me if I'm missing anybody else. But yeah, basically this is about a man who's basically in the middle of his life. There is this new technology that allows people to downsize from basically their normal height to about like 5 inches, 3 inches tall. It's mostly for the environment. It's just so that overpopulation doesn't become a problem. This is for that the whole earth can be more sustainable. That's basically what the movie tries to sell you, and that's what they try to sell you, the scientists that created this. I really like Alexander Payne, let me just tell you that. I really liked Sideways with Paul Giamatti. I really adored The Descendants, and I liked Nebraska, which I believe is another film that he did. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that, but I believe he did Nebraska. This film, unfortunately, I believe is his weakest film. Basically because of the massive pacing issues that I had with the movie. I just thought that the film was two different movies. One part of the film centers around Matt Damon's character actually undergoing everything that's happening when he's like a regular sized man, all the way on to when he actually gets to being downsized, and he's put in this place called Leisureland, where all the downsized people go to, and it's like different colonies around the world. So there's like one in Norway, I presume there's ones in other states as well, but anyway, he goes to this one Pacific land called Leisureland, and his wife, played like Kristen Wiig, backs out last minute, so he's there by himself, and he has to kind of adjust to life by himself. And then along the lines, he meets his neighbor, played by Christoph Waltz, who's like this big party animal. And basically the whole thing about getting downsized is that like you basically become rich. If you're a middle-class citizen, regular height-wise, when you shrink down to that size, you will literally become one of the wealthiest people you can possibly imagine. So basically he has like over $100,000 in his bank or an equity. One of the biggest things about him being at Leisureland is that he encounters a woman played by Chau, who's a Vietnamese refugee. It's one of those things, like it turns into something very different around the late seconds and third acts. I feel like the movie went from point A to point B, and it's not necessarily two of the same. It's like a film that is so different when you first watch it to the ending and it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work, unfortunately. It's paced really badly in my opinion at some points. I understand what they were trying to do, especially with the whole environmental angle, climate change, you know, global warming, environmental sustainability, and the whole sociological aspect of being a downsized person. You're rich, you have more status, yada yada yada, this and that. But it's just one of those things where this movie is just also too long. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes long. It could have easily been an hour 45, but they really just, you know, Alexander Payne, I guess his script was just over 120 pages, and I guess it was then some, because it just felt like it really dragged, especially at the third act. I like Matt Damon mostly as an actor, and I just feel like in this movie he is kind of bland. It's kind of mundane performance that we get out of him. Chau, she's good. I haven't met a lot of Vietnamese people in my life, but I've heard some criticisms that her performance as this Vietnamese woman in the film is kind of like stereotypical, and I'm not one to really know whether or not that's stereotypical or not, so I can't really put it out there. But I will say that even looking beyond that, like she was good in her performance. Like she brought some emotion in a scene that, you know, might have been like the best scene, one of the best scenes acting wise in the movie. So I understand why she got nominated for a Golden Globe and why maybe she'd be considered for an Oscar. Christoph Waltz, he's cool. He's actually one of the comic reliefs in the movie, even though the film doesn't really make you laugh all that much, honestly. It's not a comedy, and it's kind of marketed almost as if though it's kind of like a comedy or a black comedy, and it just tries to hit so many times and it just fails, in my opinion, when it comes to comedy. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop talking about it right now. I think it's a film that has a lot to say but doesn't know how to say it. I just was disappointed in watching it, unfortunately, and I say that with a heavy heart. From a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this movie a solid 5. I just couldn't bring myself to really give it a higher grade because of the fact that even though like I appreciate the route or the ambition of the film and what it's trying to say environmental wise, I just couldn't get past the slow pacing, the mundane atmosphere of the movie, and I just felt like at most times I didn't really care what was happening, so I have to give it a 5, I'm sorry to say. Anyway, that's it for my review today. I'll talk to you guys soon. A new movie review is coming soon. I know I said I was going to review the post. Hopefully we'll see it tonight, so expect something by tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.